We are. Okay, hey, today we're joined by Josh Sabo, a seasoned franchise consultant and the founder of the Franchise Guys. With over 2 decades of consulting and leadership experience, he's helped countless people identify and launch their ideal franchise opportunities. He's also built programs to develop young professionals, coached individuals in life and career growth, and invested in business himself. So he puts his money where his mouth is. What Josh makes unique is that he understands the transition challenge from multiple angles. He's guided clients from corporate careers, family members from the military, and aspiring entrepreneurs from all walks of life. He's here to demystify the world of franchise ownership, explain how his four-step process works, and shares why franchises can be an excellent fit for veterans and career changes. He's not selling the McDonald's and Wendy's stuff that we can't afford. He's going after the real deals. Josh, I managed to get everything. How you doing?
Did you write that?
I will never tell.
That was a Chat GPT prompt right there.
I will never tell. I may go back and forth with it.
Yeah, yeah. Well, hey guys. Yeah, I'm Josh. Like you mentioned, I have a long history with coaching, business consulting, nonprofit work. The big thing that kind of launched this part of my career is I had a nonprofit, and that nonprofit was helping young people 17 to 25 figure out what career would be best for them. So really just figuring out who they are and
Mm,
then helping them be placed in a career that makes the most sense. Sent a ton of young people into the trades, welding, electrical, plumbing. But I found out that a lot of my students just wanted to be entrepreneurs, just wanted to own their own businesses. If you kind of look at something that I just learned last month. So my last name's Sabo, Sabo. My mom's maiden name is Clothier, and you know, when they were naming people, it was based on their careers. So
mm.
Clothier, clothes, they had their own business, right? Back in the day, most people just started having their own businesses.
Smith.
Found out just recently that Sabo, as a Hungarian, actually means like seamstress and clothes maker. So like both my names come about with people who are starting their own businesses. I just find it frustrating that that ownership has kind of like gone by the wayside as a primary way to take care of your family and take care of yourself. And so I helped a lot of young people start their own businesses. There's a few even in my town that still have storefronts, doing very well. Um, but a lot of people look at business ownership. There's only a 20% success rate if you start something from the ground up. How do I do this? Now I'm in charge of marketing. I'm in charge of recruiting. I'm in charge of all these things. And then, of course, I get introduced to franchising and franchises where everything's basically done for you. You just follow the system, and you can be successful. The success rate of a franchise is around 90% as opposed to 20. Um, and of course, I had my ice cream sandwich shop. Built that, sold that, which was fun. Flipping businesses is also a good time. I did real estate, had a few rentals, um, affiliate marketing. I'm not sure if anybody's heard about that, but just everything changes so much online. Um, I just needed something stable, and franchises were that thing. When it comes to job security right now, I talk to 16 to 20 people per day, and people have these insane resumes and they just can't get a gig, or it's people that just lost their job, and they want to get into owning their own thing because they're not going to fire themselves as long as you're getting into a recession resistant business. um, you know Anything's possible. So I want to kind of start this off. I mean, I guess I did just start it off, but I want to start talking about the real
Continue.
stuff. Yeah, I want to continue to talk about some stuff. Franchises love military folks. They love you. I'm talking like 90% of the franchises that I am partnered with have major military discounts. They want, so the big picture here, franchisers want to sell franchises to people who are going to be successful. If they are not successful, that looks bad on the franchisor, and they may not sell any franchises in the future. So that's why the success rate's so high. And that's the 10% that's not successful is considering, death in the family, health issues in the family. I mean, there's just a lot of reasons. But as
Or
long
buying a
as,
Quiznos.
or buying a Quiznos, or yeah. I'm thinking about starting up a Radio Shack in a couple months.
Put it next to Toys R Us.
Yeah, yeah. Um, but when considering that, 10% of the failure is coming from, outside issues that really are kind of outside of people's control. And when they sell it, a lot of times you can double your profits just by selling it.
Mm-hmm.
I'm getting some booked. Is this you guys? Booking
Well, I put
calls?
it up there.
All right. We just got started. No, I'm kidding. Load it up. So I'm partnered with over 700 different franchise brands. And you can kind of look at me, and if you've booked a call, you're going to hear this again, but I don't care. It's good to hear it twice, right?
Yeah.
So you can kind of see me like I'm a real estate agent, but for franchises, right? So basically, set up a call. We'll take 15, maybe 20 minutes if you're really enjoying yourself, and I'll figure out. I'll learn more about you. I'll learn more about your goals. I'll learn more about your skills, and then I'll be able to trim those 700 down to about 4 or 5. And just like a real estate agent wouldn't go around and show you, 30 houses in a day. That's kind of like how this is going to work. So I'd basically do territory checks on the brands that I've picked out for you based off of that call, and then we set up another call and I go in detail on each brand. But the whole thing is just a discovery process. It's just about learning what's out there, learning about franchises. A franchisor will never just sell you a business without knowing that you're going to be capable, at least. Again, they need you to succeed. So I have clients that I send to franchisors that get denied all the time. They're like, hey, I just don't know if they're ready yet, but it wound up not even being the client's favorite brand anyway. So it's just one of those things. But again, franchisors love military. One, the biggest success rate comes from people who have leadership experience and can manage a team. That's you guys. You've been in it, right? 2, can you follow a system? Y'all are pretty good. Y'all are pretty good at that, right? The cool thing is that you own the mission, right? It's not, somebody else telling you what to do. It's you telling you what to do. I'm getting off calls from the last time I spoke last month, and a lot of them are like, hey, I've been being told what to do for a few years now. I kind of want to be in a position where I'm in charge and ready to go. So I have franchise brands that can cost as low as $6,000 to get in. It's crazy. One of my favorites is, work from home, all remote. A lot of people sign up for this one, at least to learn more about it, which is cruise planners. It's just so basic. It's 10 grand to get in. Well, for you guys, it's 5 or 6. Again, the discounts for you is just proof that they know you could be successful. There was an article that said that, yeah.
Is there any pain on those discounts if 3 years from now you go and sell that franchise? Is there any consideration there, or they're like, nah, you're good?
Can you say that again?
So like when you get a discount, say, I discounted, became a cruise agent, and then 3 years from now I sold that business. Is that going to come back and bite me about having that discount, or is it a moot point?
I mean, it's your business at that point. Yeah. Yeah, there are people that make an enormous amount of money coming in, buying a franchise, starting it, building it, and then doubling their profits in 2 years, selling it for twice as much as what they got it for. Like people, that's what people do. Yeah. So that discount it's your business. I mean, you can tell them, hey, I got this at a discount, so I'll give you a discount, but I wouldn't do that. People are
No.
people are up and ready to buy businesses. So yeah, I mean, if you can manage people, if you have leadership skills. My other favorite thing about franchising is, I'll just tell you a story. I had a really high net client in finance. Like we're talking major money. And we were talking to him about franchise brands, and I said, we brought up something called Made Pro. So essentially, it's home cleaning and businesses. And he got so offended that I would even think to pitch him something where he has to go wash toilets. He goes, "You know how long it's been since I've washed a toilet and or cleaned the toilet?" I said, "That's not the point. You don't. You're the manager of the managers. You won't clean toilets." In franchising, you don't even have to really know most of the skilled pieces of it. A lot of times people will book or will look into senior care. Senior care is going to be huge, guys. In-home, non-medical senior care. The baby boomers are retiring and they're getting older. I think it was Forbes magazine that said getting into senior care is kind of like getting into cryptocurrency early. It's just going to be such a big business. I mean, it is already.
Yeah.
If you get one territory, the average one territory of a senior care in-home care is bringing in around $1.2 million gross sales a year. One territory would be probably like 60 to 100,000 population. I also like to say, because it's true, getting into a franchise is kind of like getting a tattoo. It's just addictive. Once you get one, you're like, okay, what else can I get? But yeah, once you get your territory, get a franchise, all of a sudden you're thinking, okay, I've made this profitable after year one. What's next? I wasn't trying with my nonprofit to keep people from going to college. For y'all, I'd encourage it. It's free, right? You got a bill for that. But my wife came out of college, and it wasn't even really her fault. Her dad, was like, "Hey, I'll pay for it," and so she went to these schools. Came out with $135,000 in college debt. At like what was it? At the point, it was like 18% interest,
Ooh.
and yeah. And so after we got married, I was a part-time nonprofit worker at the time. "Hey, Josh, this is your debt now." I'm like, I don't think so. You're the co-signer, so I was able to like shift some of it back on him without ruining my credit. But the payments were like $2,600 a month. A lot of times, that's going to take somebody 30 years to pay off. You get a loan like that for a franchise, there are brands out there that'll have that paid off in a year or two, and then you're just profitable. So I'm a huge fan of even getting young people out of high school. Parents and kids will buy franchises too together. Parents, will be like, this is what I'm going to be doing with my daughters. When they graduate high school, they'll have two options, or they could just go work, three options. But hey, I'll help pay for college, or I'll buy you a franchise.
Hmm. Get
And
to it.
yeah, or they'll take over one of mine. It's one of those. Yeah, again, it's buying franchises is addictive. Once it's up and running, most of them can lead to semi-passive options. A lot of franchise brands have semi-passive options, and where you just come in, you just hire, manage the team, business is up and running. There's a lot of remote options. I mean, if you're into IT, cybersecurity, there's a few that are options there. There's the home-based options. Some of my favorite would be in home services. Home services are, "Hey, Krishna, how are you doing?" I just saw you pop up. Um, but
Hey
like your
Josh, how
home
are
ser
you?
I'm very good.
Nice to meet you again.
Yeah, we'll talk to you sometime.
Right.
Um, but yeah, your home services. So I like to kind of go through the three industries that I like to pitch. It's going to be, or at least to present. It's going to be the ones that are going to be recession resistant, even like COVID resistant. I'm not allowed to say. I'm not allowed to say.
Proof.
Proof. Yeah, because
Yeah.
and you'll hear me say. Generally, this means that you'll hear me say that a lot too. Um, but senior care is going to be one of those ones that's just going to be dominating. If you want to be also involved in, how many of you are interested in like real estate investing? I mean, that's how 80% of the richest people on earth got there, was through real estate investing. So there's options for, there's options for, I've got two options with assisted living. So I've had rentals, sold them out. But I had a 3-bedroom, and you can only put one family in a single family home. And so my profits were only $500 to $1,000 net profit a year or a month. And then, yeah, a year.
No.
That's why I sold it.
Ain't worth it.
But let's say you get one of these assisted living, pairing senior care, which is again the cryptocurrency of business in the future, and real estate investing. So now let's just say you buy a single family home, has 4 bedrooms, and you're able to put in 2 elderly folks in there per room. So that's 8. Now maxed out, the elderly, your clients will be paying from $6,000 to $15,000 per month. Already you can see how this could start adding up. Maxed out, that's $120,000 per month. You're paying for 2 people to do non-medical care, right? So I always say it's from mostly just having conversations to bathroom and restroom care, hygiene care. That would be like the worst of it. Yeah. So 2 non-medical during the day, and you're paying 1 non-medical person at night. You're taking them, you're driving around to doctor's appointments, you're getting groceries, or, hiring that out. But to be able to make $120K per month on their P&L sheets, there's somebody, I can't tell you too much, but I think it was a 3-bedroom house. They cleared $350,000 net profit their first year. Oh, I can't say first year, but that was 2024. But there's so many of those. Anyways, if you're interested in both of those, real estate and senior care, that would just be a dynamite option. The second industry that I love to talk through would be home services. So your electrical, your plumbing, fence building, roofing. A lot of those you'll need a certified plumber, certified electrician, and I'm not sure how things are going still with the younger people, but trades are not really on the front of a lot of their minds, so I don't necessarily like presenting those as often. I don't want you to be in a bind in 15, 20 years and not be able to find an electrician. But my favorite would be the, quote, guy in a truck business model, right? No building, so there's low overhead. The one that's my favorite right now would be brothers who just do gutters. You ever heard of that?
No. What do they do other than gutters?
So yeah, it's all gutters. They install, they clean. One thing I didn't realize is that they taught me this. People get their gutters cleaned 2 to 4 times a year, depending on how many trees they have. That's recurring income. They'll install them, snow guard, leaf guards, but there is somebody with a territory that's doing around $3 million in gross profits, which is insane to me, right? Just for one territory.
Plants trees for free.
Yeah, yeah. But it's those super specific niche brands that will do very well, right? Because when someone, otherwise it's usually, family businesses, mom and pop shops that kind of do all work and like, hey, do you actually do gutters? But when someone Googles gutters, I need some help with gutters, you're at the top of the list everywhere, especially with the brand name. Most of these franchises will help you recruit. They'll also help with training. But yeah, it's just amazing. I think, yeah, Brothers Gutters is the one that makes the claim, and it's not just a claim, they have, receipts, but your first year you can gross $1 million your first year, which is insane amounts of money. And it's also very semi-passive. So you hire somebody, you get a team together, and you just go. And all of a sudden you've got enough money. Hey, let's go ahead and buy another territory. Hey, let's go ahead and look at this other type of franchise that could be supplemental to this franchise. Does that make sense? Everybody following? Am I too tired to be talking right now?
No, I mean, it makes sense because you're talking about a box truck, some equipment, and a couple of dudes just going out there and doing their thing. It's not rocket science.
Yeah, and you don't even need to be brothers to own this business. That's the crazy part. You don't even need to be brothers. So Yeah, so there's definitely a lot of brands. The other industry would be pets. People, I'm trying to come up with something for home services, but when it comes to senior care, home services, or pets, people love their parents, people love their porches. That would fit home services, and they love pets, right? So, Robert Hendrickson says pet grooming. Yep. So I'm partnered with a brand called Zoom and Grooming. It's another, person in the truck model. You'd hire a groomer and then start sending that groomer to people's houses. Their huge push is their quick start program. They claim too that they can have up to a month already booked out before you even get your truck, get your van.
Wow.
So you can kind of see, like, they want you to be profitable as fast as possible. That's the goal. A huge part, and this is something that I love about the franchise industry, is how much accountability exists. So they have something called the FDD, Franchise Disclosure Document, and this has to go through the government. This has to go through amazing lengths to make sure that you are correct. So they'll, on this FDD that you will get, if I was to set you up with the franchise developer, you'd get this and you'd be able to see their P&L or their profit loss statements. There's a list of franchisees that you will be able to call and say, hey, how, get all those details, right? How much did you make your first year? Blah, blah, blah. But the FDD is going to be the document that's going to give you a lot of peace of mind as well, because they can't really lie on those. It's government regulated, high accountability. So when I say they make claims, it's not just like, hey, here's a claim. This is what it is, and here's all the document and proof. But yeah, if you're interested in business ownership, if I would have known about this stuff when I was coming out of high school, I would have put that money elsewhere and then been retired by the time my friends all graduated college. Just looking at a lot of these options. Should I show you some options?
Yeah, let's check it out.
Hands raised or no?
Oh yeah, absolutely.
No, Ernest, I don't think anybody. Oh, all right, okay. So I'll share my screen here. Some fist bumps, some thumbs up. Okay, here we go. These are not going to be all my favorites. This is just a list that I came up with my local area that had territories available, but it'll still work. Okay. Share. Has everybody seen that?
Yeah.
Perfect. This one's called the Seals. I am fired up about this brand. They literally have one franchise. They're so brand new. I'm not allowed to tell you how much they made their first year. But again, look how niche it is, right? So they go in and they fix the sealant parts on refrigerators and ovens, things like that. But it saves the restaurant. I mean, think about anybody who has an industrial refrigerator or freezer. Restaurants, Meyer, country. Oh, yeah, I got the list here. Restaurants, markets, hotels, country clubs, nursing homes, hospitals. But essentially, you're coming in, fixing the seal on these things, and it saves an enormous amount of money, because when you're leaking cool air, it's basically insulation. It's insulation for refrigerators. But it's a very simple business. You'll hear the word unit economics. That's basically, hey, how well are you doing? How much money is it making? Those types of things. I should kind of go over the general steps first before we keep going, but meet with me. I'll trim down the 700 options down to 4 or 5 that might make sense to you in your budget. And then second meeting will be, I'll go in detail, share my screen. We'll go through each brand in way more detail, as much detail as I'm allowed to go. If you still like those brands, and if you like 4 out of the 5, I even encourage you, if you don't like one, still meet with them, because there's other things within that meeting with the franchisor that you're going to like. After that, I'll set up a call with you and the franchisor. You'll have a conversation, get to know more about them, ask all your questions, and then they'll send you the FDD. The FDD is not a contract. You're not signing your life away. It's essentially saying, hey, I received this document. Like, if you get something from UPS, you sign for it. After that, They'll invite you to what's called Discovery Day or Meet the Team Day. A lot of times they'll pay for your flight out and they'll pay for your hotel to stay over. And the whole day you're just going to be at headquarters talking with the owners and talking with the franchisors and the company. But yeah, they're going to want to know, and this process takes months, and it should. If you feel rushed, my line is always if I need to buy something and you ever try to make me feel rushed, I'm already out. It's just you're not going to push me and sales me into this.
What can I do to get you into this car today?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
But yeah, so commercial kitchen ceiling, fixing torn gaskets. I guess that's what a gasket is. I just call them sealant because that's the seal. Saving money, keep one step ahead of health inspections. Restaurants, markets, blah, blah, blah. Simple business, strong unit economics, which that's what they'll go over with you in the FDD. And then low overhead. Again, this is more or less a guy in a truck business. You don't have a location. You don't have to be paying rent. It's a huge opportunity. Gosh, I wish I could tell you the gross average revenue on this.
It's only one, but you're saying they've done well.
They've done very, very well.
Yeah.
But they've been in business for a long time. They just started franchising it. So they've been doing this for a long time. So let's see about going to a new one. Gym guys. This is a fun one. Josh is the CEO. He is a killer dude. I mean, he is out there to win. But essentially, it's home personal training. At first, you think, well, I mean, how many people are paying you to go to their, yeah, rich people. How many people are paying you to go out and doing this and that? Average gross sales is going to be around $250,000 to $300,000 a year. But it's mobile personal training fitness company. These vans are outfitted with all the latest workout technology. They do everything. Essentially, can't say everything. You could just pick something and run it out of this van. Ernest, how long do I have?
Another 20 minutes.
Okay, perfect. I'll go a little quicker. But again, yeah, quote, guy in a truck. They go to corporate. Corporate likes these types of things too because they don't have to put a gym in their buildings. So you just get this. They'll do yoga. They'll do massage therapy at your own home. Stretch. I don't know if you've seen any of those stretch labs in your towns. They're implementing this in their vans. It's a huge opportunity. So this would be gym guys. Mold medics. They do mold testing, remediation, and air duct cleaning. There's a lot of places that will need to know that there's not mold in their businesses and buildings and houses because it's making them sick. We actually had someone come to my house. My daughter's got a rare disease, and we had to get tested for mold. We didn't have any, but that was these guys. Low investment, also person in a truck model.
And it's important too.
Yeah.
It's not a luxury.
Yeah, absolutely. Cruise planners. It's not just cruises. You're planning people's vacations. Home-based, low investment. This is the one for the veteran discount. I think is like $4,000, so you're only paying like $6,000, $7,000 to have a business that could be making you six figures. It's insane. But yeah, they'll take you and they'll pay for you to go on. I think it was 2 per year, 2 vacations. They'll pay for you to go on because they need you to know about the vacations so you can sell them. But yeah, 6 to 10,000 for you. It's going to be closer to 6.
What's the return typically on that you see for monthly for a person?
So they have annual.
Okay.
What their claim is, and I don't like to use the word claim. I'll just say they say because claim and infers that there might be a lie to it. But what they say is that part-time you can do around 60 a year. Their full-time people can do up to 150K a year within a couple of years. But yeah, even if you want just a side gig, I actually have a few stay-at-home moms that are doing this because they, making a full-time living from home and having babies at the house. I mean, it's amazing. But yeah, they've won like top franchise in America, top 10 or whatever, multiple times, top 1 in their industry. This is just for fun. There's a few on here that are just for fun, just to show you the variety. Wow, window boxes. They're installing window boxes and irrigation systems for people's homes. Um, their unit economics are incredible. It just, you look at these and like, how is that going to make money? Well, they do, and they make a good amount of it. But yeah, essentially, it's just installing window boxes and making people's lawns look cool. Um, I love the brand, minimal staff, beauty and function. Yep, seasonal plantings, drip irrigation systems, streamlined and scalable. And a lot of people, I talk to a lot of people and they say, well, I've never heard of window boxes. Why would I buy that? No one even recognizes it. You're not buying it for the brand. If it was McDonald's, that's a different story. You're buying it for their systems over decades sometimes of like, hey, we can get you here in a year at this, we can get you this amount of money in that area, wherever you're living by this time. By month 2, you'll want to hire this person. By month 5, you'll want to do this. I mean, it is amazing, the support and the systems that they have. My wife, if you ask my wife what my favorite 2 words are, it's efficiency and systems. I grew up with extreme ADHD and I needed to get a lot done in my life, and I couldn't have done it without systems. You don't want to lose your wallet anymore. My line is have a home for everything. So my wallet goes in the same exact spot every day. I buy the same exact pair of Hanes socks every time I buy. And like once they're all worn out, I'll just buy a whole load of new ones, toss the old ones out, because I don't need to be wasting time finding the right sock pairing, right?
Yeah.
So it's all about efficiency and systems, and that's what this is. If I ever go shopping, I'm a guy that has the same old crappy car, and I'm going to run this thing into the ground no matter what. Um, Even if I was worth $100 million, I would still be driving this old Toyota around because I want to see it get to 400,000 miles. But whenever the reason I talk about that is it doesn't have any, remote, doesn't have a remote, doesn't have a beeper or anything like that. So I got in a system of anytime I go grocery shopping in any store, I always park in front of the main doors, no matter how far back it is, because I don't have to try to remember where I parked my car. I just walk straight. There's my car. Lots of fun little tips, but yeah, this is going to be your systems. This is going to be your efficiency. You're buying the ability to make a full-time living as fast as possible. I don't remember what
OCD is a superpower for a franchise kind of thing.
Yeah. So that's funny you brought that up. My my ADHD launched my OCD. I'm very particular about details somehow or another. But yeah, I just got sick of missing appointments all the time and losing my wallet. Next, this is the Judgment Business Incubator. This is actually what they call a business op or a biz op. This isn't a franchise. My buddy Evan runs this, but 80% of people who win lawsuits aren't paid. So you're looking at the grandma who got ripped off with an online, scam or something. They got them and they got sued. Let's just talk about one of my rentals. Had a drunk lady come in and smash one of my windows because she thought her boyfriend was in there. It was actually the house on the other block. Went to court. Didn't go to court. I didn't do anything, but the lawyer came out and said, okay, yep, judge said that she owes you $250. Do you want her to pay it? And I was like, well, I don't care. I don't care. She didn't look like she was doing all right. You know what I mean? I didn't want to take from somebody who owed me money. But he actually looked at me in the face. He goes, at least tell her she has to pay. She needs to learn her lesson.
Yeah.
I was like, okay, but I never got paid on that. Judges and the courts aren't following people around, making sure they pay their debts, right? So this is a Judgment Business Incubator. A lot of people think that you'll have to go to courts or anything like that, but it's all remote, all online. You would get the power to garnish wages to pay debts. You would have access to like even down to their cryptocurrency. It is scary the amount of power a human being can have over somebody else who lost judgment. But yeah, I don't know that much about this other than those types of things. But there are people making an enormous amount of money. I forget what their average. So you would basically, I think it's 50% of whatever they're owed. You would get. It would be like a split. Hey, I helped you get this at all. So we're going to split 50-50. I think those are the numbers, but don't quote me on that. Boom, boom, no calls, no letters, no contacts. They provide leads and you would buy the leads. They would help support and build a whole business. I think they said their biggest check was like $330,000. They mentioned something about being involved with the Kardashians once.
Oh,
I don't know.
geez.
I don't know who was on what end of that one, but yeah, there's just I think they said like $42 billion of unpaid lawsuits out there. It's just it's amazing. So here's the fun one. Bio one, crime scene cleanup is their primary thing. Going to clean up crime scenes. I haven't really dived into this as much as I wanted to, but this is just kind of one to show you the diversity of what's out here. Low startup costs, fast start, multiple revenue streams, no experience needed. You're going to see no experience needed on a lot of these. Vending machines. Smart Market Solutions, one of my favorites. It's AI camera vision technology. What I believe that means is you pull something out. The AI technology, says you paid for it. If you put it back in, the AI will remove that from your online shopping cart. They'll help find the right locations for you. If it's not the right location, they'll find another one for you. They just want you to be successful. Most people who get into vending machines start with 4 or 5, and by the end of year 2, 3, they have 15 to 20 of these things. But again, no experience needed. Your job after buying them and setting it all up is just hire some teenager to go refill them. It's very basic. Great brand, great people to be working with. Mosquito. This is the one that the cost of entry is $6,000. The reason for that is that they finance. So this is one of those franchises that will actually do the financing for you. So essentially it'll be just kind of rolled into the entire package, but cash would be $6,000. Part of a national brand. Anytime you see national brand, that's going to be a good thing. That means that their potential to, like if the national brand has a contract with, let's just say Walmart, and then you buy a territory and there's a Walmart there, generally that will mean you also have that contract. So you can just immediately start working at a Walmart. So if ever you see national brand, a lot of times that's what that'll mean. That also means the resources are enormous. Their Google advertising and marketing will be on point because they've been doing it. They know. 90% of in-house financing. That's where that $6,000 comes in. Taking care of mosquitoes, ticks, and fleas. Most of them will say eco-friendly. I haven't seen any that don't at least try to say that. Like this is eco-friendly.
There's ways to do it.
Yeah. All right. Here's one of my favorite ones. Zen Zone Sports. This is going to be for anybody who likes sports and likes kids. Wants to help kids learn about sports. So this is youth sports. There's three streams of income here. The main one, there are people that are making hundreds of thousands of dollars a year by just working with preschoolers. So essentially, let's just say you buy it, you go into preschool at this one school. The parents will pay $50 to $60 a month to have you teach them, let's say, basketball. That's just one sport, and that's just one class and just one grade. Now, let's say you go ahead and hey, we're going to go ahead and add football. All right, let's go ahead and add, what's your favorite sport? Chess? I don't know. Is that you got to be in some kind of shape to be able to sit in a chair that long. Yeah. And then all of a sudden you're like, hey, let's go ahead and add the second stream of income, 2nd through 5th grade. Boom. Now parents are paying from $100 to $150 a month for your kid to learn about a sport. And you add more sports, and all of a sudden you're like, you know what? I'm going to go ahead and get into these other 5 schools doing the same thing. Now you're hiring coaches. You can hire a coach right off the bat, build the business, and then you got somebody that will go in and do the coaching for you. But this is definitely one of my favorite brands. Most of the support and coaching from Endzone comes from franchisees because it's so passive. They've already made money. They're already at this point. Hey, let's go ahead and just give back. So a lot of the support that you'd be getting would be coming from franchisees who already bought in the past.
Hey, Rob's got a question on that. Is that for private schools only? Do public schools deal with that, or is it just saying, "Hey, work that school system"?
That would definitely be. I can't say.
Okay.
Because it might be both. It might be anything, but they're also partnering with the Parks and Rec departments. And then you're having summer camps as well. But yeah, there's a lot of those questions that, because a lot of it depends on the state you're in. It depends on what the private schools laws are and rules are. So I wouldn't be able to say, but yeah, it's ranked franchise 500, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5,
Obviously doing
6,
well.
6 years in a row. But yeah, a lot of times, oh, hold on. A lot of times people say, well, there's already a bunch of sports in my neighborhood. And I always like to say, well, unless they're your best friend, you're going to put them out of business. And if they are your best friend, just bring them on with you with Endzone. But yeah, then obviously the adult leagues, there's a lot of adults that'll pay a lot of money to be a part of a flag football program, basketball, those types of things. Cool. Let's go. 1-800-STRIPER. So essentially you're striping parking lots. I brought this up to my local BNI group, and the concrete guy says, "You didn't tell me you had this as a partnership. I paid someone an enormous amount of money to finish the concrete that I just did, and so he's going to be buying this as a franchise as well, just to follow his own business around. So he's not paying anybody else, and he's also going to have enough people to go make money. A lot of times when you're in this, you're going to start getting government contracts as well. So yeah, again, no experience needed. Part of a $40 billion paving industry. Obviously, you can imagine the recurring income. This paint doesn't stay forever until somebody invents. I'm sure it's out there, but parking lots that are with lighting underneath it that you can just change it to whatever you want. But yeah, 1-800-STRIPER. Again, this is just to give you an idea of just things that exist out there. Laundro Lab. Where'd it go? Laundro Lab. High-tech laundry. When you find an industry that is primarily old, right? Most of your laundromats are going to be super old, maybe dirty. It's a high-tech one. Uses pay phones, you pay with your phones. They don't use pay phones. I'm talking about new tech, and I'm talking to you guys about pay phones. What is going on? Free Wi-Fi, arcade, getting kids in there and enjoying themselves. You could have an employee that does a wash and fold service for you as well. They have a recurring model as well with I believe it's with like a membership base with the phones with their app. So it's really cool. If you want to make a bunch of money with this, you're going to need 3 or 4 of these. So this is going to be a high investment. Just get a hold of your rich uncle and say, this is going to be really good here. You run the show, they pay, right? Honestly, there's a ton of people that will partner up. I've got, I don't know how many clients, 10 that are partnering up with somebody. One fun thing. So all my business partners in the past, we're not friends anymore. Went 50-50 with them because I was a nice guy. Issues happen because of creative differences, or this is how we should run the business. In franchising, you don't get that. I mean, I'm sure you do sometimes because there's no creative differences. Here's the system. You do these 4 things. I'll do these 4 things. Stay out of my lane, stay out of my lane. And there's success. So a lot of people will partner up, and with a partner, you can go way further in the business.
Just like life.
Yeah. This is another odd one. Temporary wall systems. You just have modular containment for commercial buildings. People, when they're doing construction, blah, blah, blah. 320 operating territories, rental solution for all construction needs. No experience needed. Zoom and Grumman, I think we chatted about this a little bit. Here's your Zoom and Grumman van. You hire somebody to do grooming, you're off and running. This is the one that wants you to have at least a month booked out before you even get your van outfitted and sent to you. Screen Mobile, this is one of my favorites. You're basically repairing window and door screens. They also do back deck Four Seasons rooms, but it's one of those, again, it's one of those niche markets that, if you Google it, you're not going to get the local handyman at the top of Google. You're going to get Screen Mobile. I don't know if any of you got locked out of your house as a kid and had screen windows, but you had to just poke your fingers through those screens, rip them open so you can get those little tabs and take the screen thing off, and then you could open the window and get in. I don't think my dad ever replaced those, but but hey, that's what we had to do to get back in our home. Is everybody still paying attention? Is anybody still paying attention? Should I keep going? Everybody good?
What now? Yeah.
Yeah. Housemaster, there's so much money in home inspection. When I got my house inspected, the guy's like, "Yeah, this is my fourth one today." I was like, "Oh, very cool. How much do you make?" "Oh, probably this is years ago. Probably about 200 a job." So that day he just made $1,000 just because. It's even more now. It's a neighborly brand, so it's got the national brand. Oh, there it is. No experience needed. You come in, you learn how to inspect a house step by step. An excellent brand. I like those guys. They're very trustworthy. Citywide is the sales and management for commercial building and maintenance. So essentially, you would manage a bunch of businesses, janitorial, cleaning, window washing, all those types of things. So, yeah, I don't think I should really have this on here, but one location, they have huge territories. Essentially, your job would be to hire out the janitorial companies, the cleaning companies, and then bring them into the building. You're basically managing people's facilities. Massive. They're hoping to become a multi-billion-dollar company in the next 2 years. So, yeah, I don't know which one that location is, so don't ask. But Citywide's awesome. Shrunk, this is fun. The 3D scanning booth. So inside this booth, they got all these cameras. And then essentially they'll take all the pictures and they'll send you a little model of yourself. That's
Making your own
cool.
bobbleheads.
Yeah. But yeah, these are, I don't know if you can even see that, but yeah, then they'll send you little models of yourself. Caring Transitions, a very niche market. This is going to be for your senior care, senior relocation and resale of household goods, set up new living quarters with items they keep, downsize, declutter, dominate the competition. Again, very niche market. World Options, this is going to be one of your work from home remote. You're basically going to be handling the logistics for mid-size to big-size companies. They've been around a long time, and they can offer discounts and exclusive deals that other people can't. Their software is incredible, but basically, I mean, if you get 20 companies, you're making an enormous amount of money that you're managing. You're managing their logistics. Very simple, very basic, awesome program.
We got lots of logistics folks to roll through too.
Yeah, I see that on a lot of y'all's LinkedIn. All right, we are done with that. Am I on time?
Yeah, you're good, man. So I mean, what's the most expensive one you got? What's the turnover? I'm just curious, just to shoot for the moon.
Like the most expensive one to get into?
Yeah, and then that you have, and then what's the usual returns?
Yeah, it's going to be like your Laundro Labs. Those
Yeah.
are going to be the ones that'll be, that's why it's important just to have
Partner.
multiple, because one might do, I think it was like 150, 200,000 a year average gross. That's something like that, but it is semi-passive, but you are working and hiring employees. One that I didn't mention, if you're interested, if you didn't notice, I didn't have any food on here. A lot of times people will think, franchises, like Ernest said earlier, is McDonald's.
Yeah.
I don't really like working with them there are a few brands that I love, but I don't really like being in that space as much because that's just what everybody knows. But there are some insane, I help my clients get into what's called pure green smoothies. Let's go ahead and pull that up. Nah, I don't need to pull it up, but essentially it's an incredible, like it's crazy how amazing it is, but it's basically superfood smoothies and acai bowls. Acai. Everyone's nodding their head like, yeah, we had that problem once.
South American blueberries. Got it.
Yeah. But Pure Green is an awesome option. So essentially it's smoothies and salads. My buddy Kevin owns all the tropical smoothies in the thumb of Michigan. And even during COVID, he did fine. You know, he wasn't just out there trying to survive. He's building more locations, but Pure Green is going to be even simpler than that because they have grills that die on you. They have, they have different regulations because they've got, other meats and cheeses and things like that. Pure Green is so simple. It's called QSR, Quick Service Restaurants. But yeah, he has, I think he said 400, 500 employees, and he only really knows 4 of them. He hired a bulldog of a GM, and she manages all his locations in the thumb of Michigan. Now he's looking into a chicken brand that Shaquille O'Neal started. So now he's he's one of those he's one of those I'm addicted to franchises. And he still has a job. His buddy pays him a lot of money to work in his restoration company, and he's taken that restoration company to new levels because he has, I think it's 14 locations, still has a full-time job, still goes to all the hockey games locally. It's awesome.
Big chicken.
Dude, Robert is on it.
He knows what's up.
Yeah. So so once we go through these, I don't know if I mentioned this, but I work for you for free. Let's just say you go through the process and you find, let's say Pure Green smoothies, and you find them on your own and you sign up. They might actually send you back to me because I have such a good relationship with them. But it would cost you the same exact amount if you went through Pure Green as if you went through me. So I'm not, essentially, so for you, I work
like
for
a buyer's agent.
Yep.
Real estate, yeah.
Or recruiter. I think you mentioned recruiter last time. That was so I'll help you go through the documents. I'll help make sure that it's the right fit for you. But yeah, basically walk through the process with you.
Yeah, having a guy in your corner is a good idea.
Yeah, hopefully anybody in here who has worked with me at all can say that I'm doing all right job.
Well, it's important to have somebody who's experienced in your corner because no matter how smart you are, there's always somebody who knows something you haven't dealt with. Roy, go ahead.
Right. Roy,
What's
good
up,
to
Josh?
see you again.
Yeah, good to hear from you. Yeah, I was just coming to give you your kudos, man. While I could, Josh was great. He was working with me for a little bit. It's just something that I'm gonna have to put off for a little while. But no, Josh was great, man. He was giving me the whole breakdown and tailored to what I was more interested in, and man, he brought ideas and companies real quick. So if this is something you guys are interested in, I'm telling you, he's gonna make it happen for you one way or another. He'll bring you all kinds of ideas. I know all this stuff is coming at you fast, but it will be tailored to your liking, and obviously that's something you guys will want to be doing. It's something that you franchise in that you have a passion for, and he's going to find that for you. He's gonna partner that up for you. He'll do that job for you for sure.
And Roy, was I mad at you when you told me you had to slow down?
Yeah, you blocked me, you ghosted me. We're not even connected. No, I'm just kidding. We're not even connected no more. No, I'm just kidding.
Who this?
No, like I have people who have to slow down, who back out all the time, and it's not an issue. Like this is a huge life transformational investment. I have zero qualms with people who are like, yeah, I got to slow down. I was like, yeah, I agree with you. I think again, if you feel rushed, it's not the right time, or we just need to slow down. Had somebody that was just like, mentally, dude, I just can't handle this. I got so much stuff going on. I got to slow down. I was like, yeah, I think you do. Like, you got to take care of your family. So yeah, thanks, Roy. I appreciate. Roy's the one that introduced me to Seven Eagle.
Thank you, Roy. Yeah, Josh has been great to work with, so I definitely recommend. But we're running up against the clock, sir. So. Cool. I thank you very much once again for taking some time, dropping some opportunities, some wisdom, and the no BS approach. It is definitely appreciated. Josh Sabo, the franchise guys, thank you very much. I got your stuff up on the board, and we will see you again soon. Thanks, brother.
All right. See y'all later.
Awesome. Hey, next up at the top of the hour, we got Drew Nelson with 7th Level Inc., and we'll see you there.
Hey, while you guys got this break, can you guys head over to the Discord and make sure you
Yes.
guys get signed in, please? Make sure you guys, that's going to be a mandatory platform for us from now on. It's gonna be how we get content and news and all of that stuff out to you guys.
Yeah, it'll be up. There it is. Yeah, Jethro just shared it. So jump in there, get on the Discord, and roll because we're moving all the information over there. Just like Derek said, I was supposed to say at the beginning. So thanks for the reminder, sir.
No worries.